We're here with Tom Breese. Tom, I've got a lot of things that I want to talk to you about today, but I think first we'll kind of go back in time a little bit and we'll talk about TriStar.
Yeah.
How did that opportunity present itself? And
basically, I just went out there, like, didn't have a fight coming up, so I went out there to improve, and originally supposed to go out for 3 weeks,
yeah.
and just for my own training. When I got out there, like, GSP was training for the Nick Diaz fight, sparred GSP, and he asked me to stay for his camp, which was a great opportunity. And
so just from a sparring session?
yeah, after because I'm a southpaw, Nick Diaz is a southpaw, I'm tall as well, and just from the first sparring session, yeah, he said he wanted me to stay for the camp.
You know, I get fanboy just sitting around chatting with fighters. For someone like GSP to say, "Hey, I want you on board."
Yeah.
What went through your head? Were you like a kid at Christmas, or were you?
Yeah, it was a big confidence booster, you know. So yeah, like, it was a great honour as well. So yeah.
Is he as good as he looks?
Yeah.
Is it all talent?
Yeah, it's talent and hard work. That's the most important. Hard work and yeah, obviously talent.
What's the big difference between? Obviously, you're training out at TriStar, and there's lots of names out there. You know, lots of top fighters. But what are the fundamental differences between training somewhere like there and training in the UK? Are there any, or is it just the people?
There's more high quality people. I think they're a lot more technical, and yeah, I just feel like they understand the game a bit more than over here. And there's a lot more bodies in the gym. It's one of the best gyms in the world as well. So yeah, I can't really say for like Canada as a whole against England, but that gym, yeah, is special.
Is it the people, or is it the work ethic? Is it the equipment they've got?
It's the people. It's definitely the people, and like the way they prepare for fights, and yeah.
And GSP as a person, you know, we get to see sort of the corporate GSP. We get to see the safe GSP. Is that how he is?
Yeah.
Full time.
What you see is what you get with him. Yeah, he's exactly the same as you see on the TV. Nice guy. Yeah.
How many times did you sub him? Did you get the opportunity? You got the opportunity to do all that with him, though.
Yeah, I sparred with him I was his sparring partner for his fight, so I was sparring with him like 2-3 times a week. Yeah. And
they put you up in the TriStar dorms?
Yeah, I was in the dorms for the first week, and then I was in the dorm.
What's life like that? Is it you know, what's life like in one of those places? You've got to be with a bunch of guys.
When I first walked in there, like the first day I got there, I walked in and I was like, it was the place was a mess, and it was just full of fighters. I was like, what the fuck, man? And like, after the first few nights, started to get to know the guys, and yeah, they're all great guys. You become good friends with a lot of them, training partners, and yeah, they're all killers as well, a lot of them. So
is it a lot of coming and going, like people are there for a week and then gone, or there for 2 weeks, or was it fairly consistent?
There's people that live in the dorms, like Faraz Sahabi's brother, and there's a couple of other guys, and then you get guys coming and going. But yeah, you become good friends with them. Like we go, like, after training we'll go out and do things together and stuff like that. So
you watch things like The Ultimate Fighter. You see what kind of happens when a group of fighters get together, and that's what they. Was there any of that? No. It's all
respectful. Not like any messing about, you get kicked out of the dorm. So yeah, and plus we've all got respect for each other. We don't mess about. We're training partners. We're there to help each other. So
is there anybody that you met over there that you're staying in touch with, or that we should be keeping an eye on? You know.
Yeah. I'm like, to be fair, most people, but like there's so many names. Like one of my good friends that I met over there, he's Brandon Thatch. He just got signed by the UFC. Definitely keep an eye out for him. GSP brought him out for the Condit fight and for the Diaz fight. Great striker. If you see his fights, I think he's stopped like 9 opponents in like the first 90 seconds or a minute, something like that. Yeah, he's a good guy. And there's loads. Ryan Ford's a good fighter. He's watch out for him. I think he's like 21-4, something like that. Yeah, great record. There's loads. Alex Garcia, Nordine Taylor, and then you got the obvious ones: Rory, GSP.
And you know, when you're out there training with those guys, how hungry does it make you to get in and compete? Because it's been a while since you had your last fight. How hungry are you to get back in the cage?
With me, I'm always hungry. Yeah, I take it as I'm always like, I don't have any time off. I'm always training. I'm always on my diet, and it's like MMA is like my religion. So yeah, I'm always on it. And training with them guys, it makes me like even more hungrier because you train with the best guys, and it's different because when I'm in this country, there's only a certain amount of guys that really want it and are at the gym all the time training. They're all pro fighters. It's their life. Everyone's on it, so it just makes you want to push even more. So
was it fairly international as well? Obviously, you had Brits, Canadian. Oh, was it?
Yeah. There's fighters all over the world. The Germans, everywhere. Germans, French, like Europe, everywhere.
And again, is it? How does that? Is it again? They offer sort of a 3-week training set. You can come out for 3 weeks. You come out for how does
come
it?
out for as long as the guys at the gym have no problem with you coming. You speak to them, then you can go out there for as long as you want, I presume. Yeah.
And now you're going to go back there.
Yeah.
Is this going to be your regular training camp when fights come up?
Yeah, for fights, definitely.
And who's principally going to take the lead in that training with you?
Eric O'Keefe, and then Faraz is out there. Faraz, like he was showing me a lot of stuff. He's a genius. And then there's like John Danaher's there sometimes. He's mainly there when GSP's fighting, but there's loads of coaches there. So, but I'm very good friends with Eric O'Keefe. That's I've got good coaches there, and yeah, still with Mark. Mark's my coach. And
is that relationship going to have to change if you? Again, I know you and Mark have been fairly tight. He's looked after you for your pro fights. Him being a referee at BAMA and at Cage Warriors and at the UFC level, is there going to come a point where that relationship has to change? And
no,
you never.
Mark's sort of never done me wrong, so yeah, he's always there. So yeah, Mark's great. He's a busy guy, so that's why I've decided to go to TriStar as well, because not only is the training great, but Mark's, like as I say, he's just refed in Ireland, and he'll be probably in Brazil next week, and so yeah. But now I'll always be with Mark. He's a good guy, and he knows the game, and look at all the experience he's got with the UFC, and so. And
you know, one of the things that I get these guys take the piss about is the fact that you didn't like any of the food out there in Canada.
Yeah. Not really.
What's up with that? What's the matter with
fast
the food?
Food shit, isn't it? I'm very fussy with my food, and yeah, I mean, as I say, like when I was out there, I got up to like 95 kilo, but that's because I wasn't fighting and stuff. But next time, I've done a bit of research, and I know I'm gonna be eating a lot cleaner next time and good. So, but yeah, it's a lot harder because as I say, we've got like Tesco over here, and we can go to like a gluten-free section or something.
I'm going to actually stand up for Canadian food. It's because our winters are so harsh. Because our winters are harsh, you gotta build up the weight reserve.
Man, you can't even go outside. It's terrible.
How cold it get there?
I think it was minus 30.
Yeah, that sounds about
minus
right.
50 or something. I don't know.
Minus 30 in Montreal for sure.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. At some stages, you couldn't really walk to the shop. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, you soft.
I was walking to the shop with a couple of guys, and I was getting all frost on the beards and stuff like that. So yeah, it was bad.
You talk about you talked a little bit about your training partners here. Just a few minutes ago, you sparred with Jimmy Wahead.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, it's awesome. I've got a lot of respect for Jimmy. He's a great fighter and does good things for UK MMA. Yeah, I sparred with him a few years ago, so I've always had a lot of respect for him. You
do travel around the UK as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
London shoot.
Yeah, London shoot fighters. Yeah, but I try and get about it as much as I can.
Why and how is that so important especially for a young fighter?
Well, I know one thing is if you stay in your gym, it's like your home. You're comfortable in your gym all the time, and come fight time, you've not come out your comfort zone, and that is like in the cage. It's usually outside your comfort zone because you're not in your own gym, and plus different bodies. So yeah.
And you've got you've got a fight coming up possibly in September, but in the next couple of weeks you're going to be competing at the nationals for wrestling.
Yeah.
How's training going for that, and how long have you been prepping for it?
About 6 weeks. Yeah, training's great. I'm fit. I'm very fit. I've just been practicing, doing loads of wrestling drills, and my wrestling's definitely improved.
A couple of years ago you won the juniors.
Yeah.
So is you going out to be the best in the UK?
Definitely. I wouldn't do anything if I wasn't going to win. It's all or nothing with me. So.
And what did you when you heard the IOC were going to cut wrestling out of the 2020 games? What do you think about that? Do you think it's as stupid as everyone else?
It's a disgrace, really. I mean, like, if wrestlers aren't Olympians, and you know what I mean. You look at what is it, synchronized swimmers and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, wrestling's the. Was it the first Olympic sport as well?
Oh, I think, yeah, well, certainly it was there with, it was wrestling, boxing, and pancration. So, yeah, it's certainly for the first combat sport to be there. How does the Nationals work? Is it a tournament? Do you have to, how many times are you going to compete on the day?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm guessing I'll probably have about 5 matches, 4 to 5. When the juniors was about, I think I had 4 matches that day, and other competitions I've had about 4 or 5. So,
is there any chance that if you continue to do well there, that if the British Wrestling Organization said we wanted you for the Olympics, is that something? Would you put your MMA on hold to compete at that kind of level in wrestling, or is it MMA first?
Yeah, if I had the opportunity, I'd definitely put MMA on hold, because I can always come back to it, and it's just going to improve me as a wrestler and improve me as a fighter anyway.
Is that a thought that's in your back of your mind when you compete at things like the Nationals, or is it just because you enjoy the sport so much?
Both really. Mainly because I enjoy it. I mean, it's a good thing to have as well, British champion, and I enjoy it, and mainly to test myself, and it's going to improve me. So. Well,
because the British Wrestling Organization have a habit of bringing in Eastern Europeans, nationalizing them and competing. It'd be nice to have a UK guy there.
Definitely. I mean, I wish wrestling was more popular in this country. One thing I did realise going out to Montreal is that we're not really that far behind. People say, the level's better, but it's not ridiculously better or anything like that. It's like we're not that far behind. If we trained it more, and even if we brought into schools or something.
I was just going. Is that what you think?
I'd love that. Yeah. I wish like. To be fair, there's a school in Birmingham. They used to wrestle. Baverstock School. They used to wrestle. I wish more schools were like that school. So.
It's again. I think it's sad that we can't get sports like that to be recognized. And England's always had such a strong judo.
Yeah, there's a lot of judo in schools.
There's judo and wrestling. Take the gi off. Is it that much different? And that's always amazed me. We're going to move on a little bit. You've got a Cage Warriors contract signed, but I want to talk Bama first. Yeah. First off, you're basically I assume you've given up the Lonsdale British welterweight title. What's your best Bama moment? What event or what fight that you've taken part in, or even that what's best about Bama?
I'd say the best thing about Bama really, like the show was great. Just stepping out into the arenas. I always had a lot of support. I'd always have I'd sell about 250 tickets, and stepping out into the arena, it was a big show. It was a big occasion, and and just performing, and I had some great moments. I think when I fought Jack McGee, that was the highlight for me really. When I made some mistakes and managed to get myself out of trouble and submit him.
And it's 6-0. You're 6-0 with Bama. You've signed with Cage Warriors, as has just about everybody. Everybody of name. Anybody who's been very good. Do you? Is this the end of Bama? How much would you be gutted if Bama sort of disappeared now?
Yeah, I'd hate to see him disappear, but I just wish that I would have stayed with him if they had more shows.
So this was just about you. The move was about consistency.
It's about consistency. I need to fight, so if I can't fight, then I have to go somewhere else. So
there are some fighters we've talked to that have said that Cage Warriors is a step up from Bama. Would you agree with that, or would you again? Did you always feel that you were well challenged and well placed when you fought in Bama?
Probably is now. They've got everyone now, so yeah. Before it was like there wasn't that many guys contracted to Cage Warriors. Bama was still bringing in like European guys, and there was still international level fights and stuff like that. But now all the top guys are at Cage Warriors, and
we front row. We love Bama. They've given us a lot of opportunities. We got to meet fighters like yourself and others. What is it about Cage Warriors that excites you though now? Is it just the fact you're going to get fights, or is there, they're quite a professional promotion? Not that Bama isn't, but
that's one thing. I think that's one thing that I've always liked about Cage Warriors as well, is the fact that there's none of this Alex Reed crap and stuff like that, and you know what I mean. And then, I mean, I don't really like to say stuff about this, but you know, like the Bama Twitter page.
Yeah.
It talks a lot of rubbish, you know what I mean. He's talked about Star Wars the other week. Well, you know what I mean. So, yeah, Cage Warriors is very professional, and yeah, and they've got like high European talent on there.
There was a Cage Warriors event yesterday, and obviously the main event must have interested you
definitely.
somewhat. You know, what did you take from watching that? Is, you know, Mills and Pendrin, and there are other welterweights kicking around there. Where do you see yourself sort of slotting in? Again, I'm not asking you to call anyone out, but, you know, where do you want to start?
Well, whoever they give me, really. But as I say, I wouldn't be in this sport if I didn't think I could be the best, and I know I can be the best, so that's all that matters.
You know, Cage Warriors as well seems to be a very good stepping stone, certainly in Europe for the UFC. Is that something else that sort of played on your mind as you made that call?
If you're winning fights on Cage Warriors against the guys that they've got, and they've got great talent on there, then there's nowhere else to go but the UFC after that.
Well, I've got a question from one of the boys behind the cameras, and you know, when you got back to the UK, did you start suffering any withdrawal symptoms from? What kind of stuff did you miss, or?
I got a bit depressed really, because when you're training with GSP most days, and you come back and you're rolling with beginners and stuff like that, you know what I mean. You start getting you start getting depressed really, because you think, oh, am I getting worse, or you know, or am I not going to improve at the same rate? Because over there felt like I was improving very quick, and I just enjoyed the whole thing, the whole lifestyle out there as well, where I can just stay in the dorms, eat, sleep, train, you know. So all my focus on training.
And another question from Clay back there. You know, you were talking about a few minutes ago. You were talking about the fact that you're always on diet. And you're always you know, staying. Well, what do you eat and what do you stay away from?
My diet, I try and keep my diet wheat, gluten, and dairy free. Sometimes I may have a little bit of dairy, but very rarely. And I'm mainly a pescatarian as well, so I don't really have much chicken or anything. It's mainly fish. And yeah, I just feel like it helps my digestion. Mainly just eat fruit and vegetables.
We've been told that when you go out to celebrate, you'll celebrate with a second piece of salmon. Is that about right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it makes me feel good, and yeah, as I say, when I eat these crap food, it doesn't make me feel good.
You're 21 years old.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll speak for myself. When I was 21 years old, I was drinking beer, eating crap. Where does that discipline come from? And how long have you had it? Were you a McDonald's junkie at 11 and then just went, I get rid of that?
Yeah. Well, when you're young, I used to eat crap and stuff, and once I started, I'll do whatever it takes to be the best, and I feel like I'll eat anything to be the best. So yeah, that's it basically. And plus, that's what everyone else does. They'll go out and drink. Everyone else my age just want to go out and drink on the weekend. That's the highlight of their life. The highlight of my life is competing and being the best I can be. So
do you, without it's going to make me, I'm not trying to make you sound like a loner, but is it a lonely existence, or do you have good mates within?
I've got good mates, but instead of I'll be with my mates in the week, my training partners, and then mates that go out on the weekend. Sometimes I'll go out and I don't have to drink alcohol. I'll go out with them, and sometimes I think, okay, I'm busy in the week, I can go and see my family on the weekend. So yeah, that's the lifestyle I chose, and yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, like after fights or special occasions, I will go out and enjoy myself, but very rarely, 3 times a year maybe, something like that.
That just boggles my fucking mind. I gotta tell you. Fighters Only magazine recently, you know, on that Benson Henderson issue, they've got you down as one to watch, one of the best young up and coming talents in all of Europe. Do you pay attention? Sorry,
even better.
The world. Does that do you pay attention to that kind of stuff, or do you just let it kind of wash over you? Is that important to you, the recognition, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to get recognised for what I'm doing. Yeah, I was happy when I saw that, and plus it's good when you I'll get my nan ringing me saying, oh, you're in the magazine and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it's all about what you achieve really, and yeah, being in magazines, it's cool and it's good for publicity. But
does it add any pressure to you though? Does it, you know, do you worry that, you know, one bad performance, heaven forbid, but, you know, one bad performance, then all of a sudden you've got all of this hype. Or, again, do you just let that kind of drip off you?
You can't let that get to you. I mean, you just gotta go out there and give it your best. That's all I think of, and win. Because if you let it get to you, you're gonna put on a worse performance anyway. So yeah, don't let it get to me. I do it for myself as well. So
I mean, it's a lonely sport, but it's a team sport. And we recently saw you at Fight UK. You were in the corner of some of your teammates. You know, one that impressed front row.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about him in the show. Is James Samuda. You know, how many talents like that do you have at your gym, and do you get a sense of pride out of watching them develop?
Yeah, we've got loads of good guys at Fearless. I mean, James Samuda, me and him have been teammates since we started, pretty much. So, yeah, since I first started MMA, me and James have been there. We've been training together, and yeah, James has always been a great fighter. It's a shame we need to get him fighting more. I mean, with more fights, then people really see his talent. He's a great fighter.
How old is James? Is he? He's not a 21 year.
No, I think he's 28 or something like that. But
do you ever? Do you think it ever sort of plays on their minds that we're being schooled and coached by a 21-year-old, yet we're sort of, you know, pushing 30 and stuff? Or do you ever get teased about that, or any gym banter?
No, not really.
We're not trying hard enough.
We've got respect for each other, everyone. Yeah. So.
And you know, what does the future hold for Tom Breese? You're a very focused fighter. You've obviously got a kind of a roadmap laid out.
Yeah.
What's going to happen over the next 5 years?
I want to be the best. So, I mean, until someone knocks me down. I mean, even to knock me down, I'm going to get back up. But like, I've already visualised I will be the first British UFC champion. That's what I want to be. So,
is life going to be a welterweight forever for you, or as you sort of as you fill out, get bigger, but
yeah, I would say. I mean, I do put on weight as I'm growing, and I'm 21. I still feel like I'm growing, so I'm not too sure. Maybe a middleweight, but yeah.
As we were just saying, you were, you know, perhaps move up the middleweight as time. Do you find the more fights you get, and sort of I say older you get, and I just feel stupid because you're still 21. But does the weight cut stay as easy for you, or do you find that each fight it becomes a little?
Well, actually, it's weird. Even when I was putting on weight, it got easier because I found out more about diet and how to do it really. So yeah, the weight cuts been getting easier, but you get more discipline because like the first couple of times I cut weight, I was struggling. I wasn't as disciplined, and yeah, you learn to be disciplined. So.
Is 170 as low as you comfortably go? Have you ever tried to go beyond that or
lower?
Yeah.
Oh, when I was younger, I mean, I had a Thai boxing fight, and I was weighed in at 67 kilo, yeah. So
just over lightweight, really? I think.
Under lightweight. Yeah. That was when I was like 17. So I'm always putting on weight. I mean, when I was an amateur, I was fighting at 77 on the day when I couldn't do that now.
Before we get you to sort of give a shout out to the people you want to give a shout out to and your sponsors, is there every chance that we will see you competing in the UFC before the end of 2014?
Yeah. Oh, that's my plan. Let's see. When if I keep winning, then yeah.
And Cage Wars, it's a 5-fight.
Yeah.
5-fight contract and 18-month or?
Yeah.
So you plan on staying busy?
That's what I mean. When I win those 5 fights, UFC at the end of it, be 11-0.
Tom, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. Thanks very much for traveling all the way down to see us. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? Any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, my main sponsor Sandy, Multipower, my nutrition sponsor, and my teammates at Fearless MMA, and yeah, that's it really. TriStar gym. Yeah.
Wonderful, Tom. Thanks so much for your time. It's always a pleasure.